It'd be better if I was on screen. Anyhow, thank you guys. We've loads of people. Loads of people are intrigued by the spine, and why the hell would you sign up to the spine? So we're going to find out tonight. We have 3 or 4 Kerry Way Ultra faithful that are flying over from Ireland very shortly. The spine is obviously in about 10 days' time. So we're going to be chatting with a few of the troopers. We're going to be finding out about, I suppose, just strategies of how to get through it, the hidden training plans, the equipment, and also we are going to reveal, are the rumors correct? Does Joe O'Leary, the Kerry man, is he actually wearing silk undergarments? Is that true or false? So if you want to actually, vote below, does Joe O'Leary wear silk undergarments? There's lots of rumors and gossip going around that he is, he's doing it for the race. So vote below. You can do hashtag yes or hashtag of course. So we're going to be finding out about him, what this silk business is all about. But firstly, we have the lady herself. The only lady, unfortunately, we have on tonight, but she is tough, and we have a little video because she is, I suppose, she was part of the Kerry Way Ultra. We will be chatting to her in a second, but let's just relive a moment from about 2 years ago.
Well done, ladies.
Well done.
Super walk, ladies. Well done.
Last leg of the race. Walk it, take it slow and steady, enjoy the views, be proud of yourself what you're doing. Get up and get going, yeah?
Well
Get
done.
your second win, yeah?
Well done.
And a superstar. Well done.
Go on, Irene!
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right, so Irene, hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us.
How are you, Shawnee? How are you?
Good. Tell us about that scene that we saw in the Kerry Ultra, because it's one of these memorable moments for me, and I suppose for you and lots of other people. You were sitting down in Kinmare, and what was it all about?
Yeah, I had got to Kenmare and I was done. I said I just couldn't go any further. My stomach was in bits. My head was gone. And I had convinced myself that I was happy with what I had done, and that's it. Yeah, I was finishing, and I was done. Yeah,
Did you finish there?
I did. I eventually got up, thanks to a lot of help. And they said you're not allowed to stop at the checkpoint. You got to keep going. So if you want to decide to come back and ring, but you got to get up and head out. And that's what I did. I was in a terrible lot of pain at the time. I didn't realize it, but I had fallen during the night and hit my shin off one of the many styles that you have to get over, and I had tore my tendon, and the muscles were fine around my legs, everything was good, but I just couldn't run, and I wanted to run, and I just thought I wasn't going to do it justice, and I just didn't want to finish. I didn't want to walk all the way to Killarney. And I wasn't eating, and I had, of course, taken too many painkillers that weren't working, and realized that they don't work. And I was just getting sick every kilometer, and it was just a long 6 hours home. But I got there, and I swore I'd come back. Even before I got to the finish line, I was coming back the following year to do it justice. And I went home. I wrote everything down, what I did wrong, what I did good, what I could do better. I put my head down, I kept my mouth shut, I read, I listened to podcasts, I talked to people, I spoke to the best that you can ask for, got all the wisdom, put it all down, and I put a whole year of good, solid training in. And I came back. Now, I didn't finish it, but I had a big race in the May. I did Cape Wrath Ultra over in Scotland, and that was my A race for the whole year. So I finished 5th out of 90 ladies. Only 100 finished out of 300. We had torrential weather. It was an endurance test. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, the best thing I ever did. I loved every minute. I learned so much, and I'd do it again all tomorrow. And I knew if I survived Cape Wrath, I was on the waiting list for the spine for maybe 3 years, and I got an email to say I had got in. And I knew then after Cape Wrath, I said, I'm definitely doing the spine. So that's
because the Cape Wrath, just following yourself and Laura and
yeah,
Dave Barry
John.
and his wife and Claire and everything.
Yeah.
The conditions were ridiculous. That's possibly the best preparation race for
Yeah,
the
it was.
spine.
It was brilliant, and I got to speak to so many English people that had done the spine, and they said, Irene, you can do this, you'll do the spine. And I said, well, you know, each race has their own, you know, respect. So I said, by sure, it's definitely great training. I learned so much. I shared the tent with Laura. I just, every day I learned something new. I learned tons. It was just brilliant. We had friendships, you know, developed long life friendships, and I do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about those races, those stage races, where you can really bond at night time and whatnot. But tell me, your training, so for the spine, what have you been doing? Because this is possibly the toughest race in the world, given the conditions, you know. So have you been out a lot?
I have. After Cape Wrath, I 6 weeks after that, I had the Eiger in Switzerland. Possibly shouldn't have went to it after Cape Wrath. I was tired. My feet were still in bits. But I just said it would be a good training day, and it was a holiday, and I brought my husband with me, and we went out for 4 days, and we enjoyed the scenery. And I was to do the 100K. I got to 60K, and my feet, they were just in bits, and I just called it a day. But I was happy because it was only 6 weeks from Cape Wrath, and I had got COVID after Cape Wrath, and blah blah blah. And then I knew if I didn't pull up at 60K. In the Eiger, I knew I had the Kerry Ultra in 6 weeks' time, and I knew if I didn't stop now, I was going to be in trouble for the Kerry Ultra, and I really wanted to do that. Unfortunately, I started the Kerry Ultra, and I was doing great, and I was flying with the times. I was a lot faster from last year. But in Temple Nogue, my feet just said no more. Blisters and my big toe nails, they didn't grow back properly, and they were just killing me. And I said, look, it's another good training day, 160 kilometers in. Be proud of it. And you've the spine in January, and you need to be in tip-top shape. So, I train in the Coolies. And I train in the Mourns, and I train in Wicklow. And I go out in the shittiest weather, and I love it. The muckiest, the dirtiest, the boggiest, the windiest, the rainiest. Yeah, I love it. I don't mind spending hours. I happen to like my own company. It's just myself and the dog, and we just go out for hours and then do it again the next day, carry the pack. And just practice your food, practice your nutrition, and just try and nail it. And you're not going to, you make loads of mistakes. You don't do it the next time. You add something in, you take something away. Even on my hour training easy runs, I'll take gels, or I'll test things out to eat. I just don't wait for the big days to test the food. And that was, someone said that to me before, don't be waiting for the long days. Do it on the short days. I know you don't need a gel for an hour's run, but so what? Just take it and see. And because I'm celiac, I have to, it's just a little bit different. It's a little bit harder, and you just have to think a little bit different, and you have to practice.
Yeah. And tell me, are you out there running or hiking, trekking?
Everything.
Because everything?
Everything. I'm hiking, fast hiking as fast as I can. the thing about the spine was when I started to get the bag on my back, I realized, and someone told me, learn to run slow. And I kind of said, what are you on about? And the minute I put that backpack on me with all the items, it's a shuffle. I call it the Rocky Shuffle. It's a shuffle. It's not what I like, but it's what I can do, and accept it. You're not going to run as the speed that you're going to run anyway. It's not about the speed. This race is about being clever, keeping a pace, that's getting through it, walk when you can, run when you can, and don't be annoying yourself or giving yourself a hard time because you're not running the way you should be.
I mean, we can see we've all followed Eoin Keith for the past X amount of years, and you can see his shuffle, which you know is amazing. You know, it looks almost, for me, almost uncomfortable because you know, I like to run or I like to walk, but that in between, and it's just so freaking efficient, and it's won that race so many times. But so you've been kind of practicing that, yeah?
Yeah. Because I was running, trying to run like I normally run, but I kept falling. I kept my balance with the bag, and I was like a turtle on her back, trying to get back up again. And I go, how is this done? And I was sweating, and I was just in a ball. And I said, how do I do this? So then I said, I just need to slow down. I just need to slow down and shuffle and just be happy with it. And don't be the voices in your, we all hear the voices, you're not going fast enough, you're not doing this, blah, blah, blah. Just shut them out. This is days. This is an adventure. Enjoy it. Get to the finish. It's all about how you manage yourself, and how good you are at the checkpoints, and all what I learned through Cape Wrath and the Kerry Ultra. I just need to now fine tune it, put it into practice. Forget about everybody else. This is your race, and let it just pan out the way it pans out.
Exactly. Cool. I'm going to just bring Tomas on here. You stick with us, because then we'll have a chat about equipment, what you guys are using, because I'm sure there are loads of people watching or will be watching that want to do the spine. So we want to kind of get down to exactly what sort of gear you're wearing, because I'd imagine it's fairly specific. But stick with me anyhow, Irene. I'm just going to bring Tomas on in 1 second. But firstly, we're going to show this little report that was done on Tomas just few weeks ago, which has him training out in around Dungarvan, I think.
Níon sin bhathastot a bheith tartamach faoin pean, so cad tú sais a bheith compordach leis an pean. Most fuite is anamdom, hom da de hen blian dish, is as an Tanachail an Rhein, Dungarvan kuntu verklare gemé, is lu klassi chasfachte me, is malam ave ara sna slete is docha. Vi me san astro fagov lian, vi me gober eganaums na mini tevamode ober go crua, vi me goal go traum eganaum. Agus is tócha asson, ní raibh ná meabhar chlán tar rómhá go mé gnáim. Is tócha bhíorm rud éigean dhéana faoi son. Is tóla mé gnáim smuoine mé gur hathan roch trastíre lom go mór nóir a bhí mé óg. So is asson hosta mé a roch. Bhí mo chiad marathon ag.
All right, guys, that's just a very short clip about a report that was put together on Tomas, which we will drop the link in the comments once we're finished. Tomas, welcome. Hello. I think your audio is off, Tomas. All right, we'll have him back on it shortly. There we have Tomas. How are you doing?
Hi, Shawnee. Good now. Good.
Good. Tell us about that little report firstly and who produced it.
A neighbour of mine, Leah Nakra is her name, and she's doing a media course through Nematon TV. They do all the sports production for TG Cahir, and basically she rang me about 2 months ago and just asked if she could do her feature documentary on my running, and I suppose just following training regime, and it just so happened she didn't know that I was doing the spine, so it kind of
Right.
worked out well for her, basically.
Cool. I just wanted to give her a little shout out because she's I think very young, and the report she did is really professional. So I say kudos to her. And guys, check that out. I'll drop the link once we're finished. Tomas, tell us about yourself. You did the Kerry Way in 2016, I think, was it?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Back quite a few years ago. Tell us about your experience in the Kerry Way.
I suppose I'd have to backtrack a few months before that. I done a race in Germany, and yeah, a fantastic race, beautiful race in the German Alps, and so I got I think I was about 10k out from the end of the race, and there was an aid station, and I didn't realize there was an out and back from that particular aid station. So as I came into the aid station, all the runners were coming down against me on the other side of the barrier. But as I was in the aid station, I didn't see anyone going out to do the loop. So got a bite to eat and just headed down, followed like a sheep, followed all the other runners down into the finish line, delighted with myself. Brilliant time, just over the moon. And then a good friend of mine, Anthony Whelan, he'd be pretty good runner, had got in like half an hour before that. And I think he was kind of looking at me, kind of going, what's this guy doing here at this time? So then just chatting away to him, and then the penny dropped about 5 minutes later, disqualified, didn't do the whole course. So basically what I'm getting at, then I got quite annoyed after the race. I was like, So I signed up for the Kerry Way in anger more than anything. And yeah, that was it. Started the Kerry Way quite well. Ended up running with Kevin Leahy, who I'm sure you're well aware of, Kevin, and basically ended up running most of the race with Kevin. But at the time, Kevin was only kind of dipping his foot into ultra running, which obviously went on to become a fantastic athlete. So I think I rolled my ankle with about 3/4 way through the race, coming into Kenmare or something. I rolled my ankle. Sorry, well before that. So I had the ear burnt off Kevin giving out about my rolled ankle. So Kevin could have powered on, but he actually stayed with me to the finish. So that was my experience. It was tough, very tough. I'd like to go back again, but just waiting for the right timing. So.
Of course. Cool. So tell us about some of your, before we get into the spine, some of your other experiences, because you've done quite a lot of big, grueling, long races. What else have you done over the past few years?
Wicklow Way 100. I done that as a qualifier for UTMB. We've done Lavaredo in Italy. That's a beautiful race, spectacular race in the Dolomites. And then I have UTMB 2019. What else have I done? Then I went to UTMB Val d'Aran in the Pyrenees, which I would probably rate as the toughest race I've ever done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I definitely rate that as being more difficult than the UTMB course in France. Just purely down to technical terrain. It just eats you up, spits you out. And then I've just done I done the 100K at Snowdonia last year. Fantastic race, beautiful race. And then just, I suppose, other than that, the Waterville 3-day, and I've done the Waterville 130 loop. That'd be about the guts of it, I guess. Yeah.
Cool. So the spine, obviously, was that on your radar for quite a few years?
Yeah. So I think it probably came into my head about 4 or 5 years ago, where I was just watching videos and just kind of saying, I'd like to build up to be able to do it. So yeah, I suppose then it came to registration there last January or February, can't remember. So literally, I just said I'd put in for it, but I wasn't expecting to get in. I was kind of thinking, right, if I get in for 2024 or something, or 25 on the waiting list, I'd be delighted. But I don't know how I got in straight away. So then that was it. Here we go.
So then it was, crap, now I gotta do it, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So tell us about the training.
Training. I put in a pretty good stint for UTMB, so put in a good 6 months leading up to UTMB. So I was probably starting at a good base. So after UTMB, I think I took a month off, and then so like really lots of hiking, practice lots of hiking, long back-to-backs on the weekends. And I suppose just getting used to the gear. The gear is kind of I don't know how to describe it. It's the gear can get quite overwhelming when you get the list and you're like, okay, I've never used this before, I've never used that before, and then just going out to the mountains and putting all of that into practice. And yeah, there's probably some stuff that I'm going to show up a bit rookie-ish with, but
Tell me, what did you not use that was on the list, for example?
sorry.
What on the list had you not previously used?
GPS system. Was never used it before. So that's been quite an eye opener. It's quite hard to get my head around it with the last while. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about that. I have been looking at it and trying to get using it, but to be honest with you, I think I'll be learning a lot the day before. I'll be asking a few questions from other athletes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be interesting.
What you should do is just sit in behind Joe Leary. He's recce'd the thing about 5 times. Sit in behind him and just do the whole race behind him.
No, that's not going to happen, Shawnee. That's definitely not going to happen. I'll leave Joe Leary wallow in his own misery near the front of the race. I'll be happy enough now sitting near the back, I think, or yeah.
You never know. You never know. Right, cool. What I'll do is I'll have a quick chat with Joe, and then we'll all just have a chat about equipment and stuff. Okay. If you can just give me 1 minute. We have Joe beamed in right from Kerry. He's just been taking down his Christmas tree. So, Joe, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Right. So tell us, Joe. After last year, you're back for the big one. It was obviously very exciting following you and obviously Eoin Keith, the Irish crew last year. And I think you almost said, no, freaking hell, no, I'm not doing the big one next year. But here you are, signed up.
I didn't almost say it at all. I said it repeatedly.
Yeah.
I said it in the first 20K, first checkpoint.
Yeah. But here you are. So at what stage did you change your mind?
I suppose there's no point doing the short one and saying you did the spine because you didn't. So just do the spine. Whether, you know, obviously it's going to be, yeah. I'm having PTSD already.
I can feel a bit of apprehension in the voice. But what are the conditions like at the moment in the UK?
Same as here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm not here. So
Oh,
can you?
okay, you're gone frogging.
Yeah.
Yeah, pissing rain. My pissing rain.
Is that Joe or is that me? Can
Me?
somebody leave a
Sure.
message in the comments?
Look.
Joe, are you back? Right, I don't think Joe wants to talk about the spine. Joe, you're back, I think. Oh, it's Joe. All right. Joe, do you have any broadband out there in Muckross? You're not in Muckross, are you? Right, we'll try and get him back on in a second. Let's see. Issue with Joe, I think. Yeah. Right, Joe, you're back.
What happened?
I'm not too sure. I don't think your internet connection is that stable, but we'll try and get through. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. You're just
Right.
you're back again. Yeah. Don't know
Okay,
what
cool.
happened.
So it's wet, but is there any snow like we've seen in the previous years?
No, not yet. No, there's nothing. Maybe I think there was a bit forecast for higher hills, but I didn't just look. There's no point checking. It's just
Yeah.
bring the kit and I will deal with it because look, it's literally 2 weeks away because it's not the weather next Sunday week you're looking at. It's you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you can't tell that. So I think all of us, we've all our kit tested and we just look, we have to carry everything and just put up with it when we get there. And being a bit stoic, but sure, you can't be worrying about the weather.
No, you can't. Everybody is the same weather. So tell us about your training. I mean, we know you're kind of out a lot, either biking or running.
Yeah, but I think Thomas and the rest of them have been doing more because I couldn't quite get real long stuff. I mean, I wanted to do. I missed out the middle bit of the spine. I suppose the middle 60 miles for one reason or another, but basically the train strikes and crack, which is annoying. So I've nothing long done. The longest run I had was in Kerry Way, the 100K. That was the last time I had a long run. But a lot of back-to-backs and carrying weight since straight after the Kerry Way. So
Right.
as soon as that finished, I went a couple of weeks of walking and stuff with the dog and carrying 10 kg. And then I started putting on the backpack I carry for the spine and loading it up for about 4.5 kg up to whatever it was, 7.5, I think. And I don't know what it was tonight because everything got wet, so it's probably heavier again. And that's it. I'm sick of drying everything now, so I'm just drying it and putting it away.
Oh, cool. So you've been consistent. You haven't been doing long, but at the end of the day, you know, once you're grueling through it, you know, what percentage is in your mind and what percentage is the training you've done?
How do you mean?
Like, is it your mind that's going to get you through that last 200?
Yeah, because I'm like you'd imagine that you have to be some sort of superhero or something to train for that, and I can't do that. So just rely on the mind. That's all I can do because you know I'm definitely undertrained going in, but I think that could be a good thing because it means I'm not carrying too much injury, just a few little small niggles. And you know, once It'll be fine.
Cool. So the plan is, do you have a plan? Do you have timings, or do you have expectations?
No, because like you can't. Even reading, like my plan was to read all Eoin Keith's blogs and race reports and all the reports of everyone else I could get, which were like head wrecking. I used to be having nightmares and all after dreaming in bed, literally. But yeah, I got some good information from them, which is basically that like they have something loose in their head and they never follow it. So probably if I get into checkpoint 2, like 4 or 5 p.m. if weather's okay, and depending, then I might sleep for an hour or something. But I know I can go on further. So without sleep, but whether I want it or not is a different story. We'll see. Like it just there's no point. I have lots of things in my head, and we'll just wait till the time comes. But definitely sleep at checkpoint 3 and all the ones after that.
Right.
That's the only thing that's concrete.
Right. I get the feeling you've been thinking about it a lot, and you just kind of want to get it done now at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely sick of it. So I just want to get it done.
Cool. Right, we'll bring on the other two guys to just chat about gear. Okay. Firstly, Joe, there's been rumors around that you're wearing silk. Is that true or false?
That's false. It's bamboo and silk.
Sorry?
It's bamboo and silk.
Bamboo and silk, right.
Yeah,
So
whatever seam out have there with the silk mixture with bamboo feels lovely. So
I hear it is good, and I think Tomas is wearing something similar. All the guys are going with silk these days. New age guys.
Yeah, I got a message from Joe last week. He recommended it, so said I'd give it a go. He said it's very soft to the skin. He said he's wearing it night and day, so I said I'd follow his lead.
Cool. So you stick that in with your moisturizer, guys, and then you're good to go for the spine.
Oh, where is it? Yeah, what's her name? Elizabeth Arden. That's it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I'm shaky because I've put on my feet already and I can't touch the ground. So
right. But all jokes aside, just actually on that, because I did hear lots of people talking about it, about that's those silk and bamboo base layers, which you guys need kind of up in Ireland and the UK. Do you want to talk a little bit about those, Joe, firstly, because you've been using them for quite some time?
Yeah, by accident I get in there. Tried them because I was having like everyone says, wear the merino tops. And I just found after a few hours my back was kind of itchy with the bag, which is really annoying. I know it wasn't too cold at the time, but still, it was very annoying. But I thought there could be a better way to mitigate that. So I just chanced the silk and bamboo thing, because I have another one from someplace else. It's just bamboo. It's a t-shirt, just normal t-shirt. It's lovely field. So, yeah, I chanced it and it seems to work so far. But I'll let you know in about 3 weeks or 2 weeks. When's that? 2 weeks.
Joe, if you haven't tested it now at this stage, that's
it's tested, like, but not for 5 days.
400 kilometers. Yeah. Tomas, have you been using what sort of base layers? Because I suppose staying warm is, critical for this race. I suppose obviously dry enough but warm. What have you been using, Tomas? What have you been testing?
I have like 3 or 4 different brands, which I've tested them all, and there is kind of I'm pretty comfortable in them all. Believe it or not, I have these little ski base that I find very comfortable, and I use them over long distance and never seem to have much of an issue with them. But then I've been that base here that Joe has been wearing for a while. I've been trying that out for the last couple of weeks and no issue with that. So I kind of have a mixture of base layers that I'm comfortable with them all. I don't have one specific base layer that I'm sticking to. So
Right.
no, that's it. Just lube up, plenty of Vaseline, and off you go.
Yeah, and off you go. Very good. Irene, what are your go-to, I suppose, brands or pieces of clothing that you're going to use? Because you've obviously tested them well with Cape Rat.
I love Dynafit
Oh, really?
and I love the Montaigne gear. Yeah,
Right.
so it's
Yeah.
well tested, and yeah, I'm happy with that. Just bring plenty. I didn't have enough base layers in Cape Rat, so I'm definitely bringing plenty of base layers. Yeah, so
Right. Do you all have like a stock of clothing for each checkpoint that you're going to use or have at your disposition in case you need to change?
I will anyway. Yeah.
There's a drop bag, so you have stuff in that drop bag, so it's there at your disposal. That's it, basically.
Right. So there's no risks. You will have them full up. So Irene, you're
probably
Silker,
probably not. You're only allowed 20 kg or something. So it's not like you can carry one for. Well, I'm not carrying one for everyone, but I could probably change in checkpoint 2 or 3. All right, but definitely not the first one.
Joe, that's 20 kg for all your bags.
For the drop bag is 20 kg, and they'll be anal about it too. So you'll have to have that at 20 kg, and that's food and all now. And
so you've only one drop bag, which goes around all the checkpoints.
Yeah.
Right. That's tricky. I suppose you've been weighing things and playing with things. I suppose that's half the battle.
Yes, that's for tomorrow.
Next week.
Weekend.
Next week. Cool. Right. We do, before we leave, we keep this short and sweet. I just want to go around and what are you apprehensive about, Joe? I suppose there's lots of elements there. There's the equipment, there's the weather, there's so many different elements there. You're taking on a massive challenge. What, I suppose, are you most apprehensive about?
Jeez, there's no one thing. When I think about it, I'm not apprehensive about anything really, because I have it done in one form or another in the last few years. Whether it is adventure racing or getting to sleep in, I can get by after do 2 or 3 days without going too nuts. But what's wrecking me is what everyone else is doing. And I go, oh, I'm not doing that. And that's, but there's a reason I'm not doing that, or maybe I should. But so it's a fine balance. Just weighing up that someone else might have a great idea, or someone else might have a great idea for them that is not for me. And so basically what it is the second guessing that, I've been preparing for, I suppose, 11 months. And someone will say something, and I go, oh, shit, am I doing all wrong? But just have to trust yourself, I suppose. But also, be aware that there is a better way, or potentially a better way. And like if I went out tomorrow and did everything that Eoin Keith did, I'm sure I'd be miserable, because a lot of his, like, obviously I'd need to eat and stuff. But, I'm sure I'd be in bits that he does stuff that I don't do, and vice versa. It's whatever you're comfortable with. But that's the biggest thing for me, is looking at this forum and everyone going on about these places you've never heard of, and they all know them by heart, and head wrecking.
Yeah.
I'll just follow tomorrow.
Yeah. No, there's sometimes just too much chat around these races.
There is.
Very often when I do a race, I won't even look at the profile or anything. I'll just go and do the race. 2 months.
Yeah, it's a good advice too. But I think it's so big
Well,
and long that you really have to be aware of what is coming. That you're going out from a checkpoint, and it's Crossfell you're going into. So you basically double up on everything, no matter what the weather. So just knowing that, and knowing that you'll have to put it on, and maybe take it off then straight after. Once you're aware of it, it should be fine. But that's the biggest headache for me.
Cool. Stick with me, Joe, because I have a spine challenger who wants to pick your brains. Tomas, right, you're heading into this massive adventure too, obviously. You've been training for months and months. It's almost D-Day. Obviously, you said, was it the GPS that you're maybe a little bit kind of apprehensive, stressed about?
Yeah, just a bit. But, I don't know. I suppose navigation is one of my biggest issues. Yeah. I hiked the course in the summer, and I suppose Joe just touched on it. The Crossfell is not going to be an easy section. I went over Crossfell pretty much in the middle of the heat wave during the summer in England, and I think I hit Crossfell on the one day that basically was covered in cloud, heavy rain, and I had quite the day on Crossfell. Navigation ain't easy on the top. To get down into Greg's Hut, there's no defined path, so you really have to be on the ball. And actually on that day I wasn't prepared for that kind of weather, because I was just on a hiking holiday more than anything. My hands got soaked through to the skin, and I lost all use of my hands. So that was a bit of a wake-up call. And kind of, when you say that's in the middle of the summer,
yeah,
what is it going to be like in 2 weeks' time? So I'm apprehensive about that. Just like Joe said, just to double up on your layers going over Crossfell. And I suppose the other apprehension I'd have is it's going into the unknown, I suppose, knowing what's going to happen. And hopefully you have the mental capability to get through it. That'd be my biggest apprehension about the race, I think. And hopefully the body just holds up. So.
Well, you do. I mean, all of you guys have been through it. And I think what Irene said earlier on, I mean, not that anybody here is going to give up, but don't give in at a checkpoint. Leave the checkpoint. Like, I think it was Aoife that said it to Irene that day. Leave the checkpoint, do 2 kilometers, and then make the decision. Very wise. But obviously, it's very wise for us sitting here in the warmth to actually say stuff like that. But good point. If it's that ridiculous in the middle of summer, next week will be fun. So we know why your dots will be moving so damn slow. So okay, thank you very much, Tomas. Irene, you master navigation, do you? You've been doing
I'm happy with navigation. I think after Cape Wrath, there was no paths. It was complete open mountain. I spent 12 hours on my own, and I didn't know. I had to trust my GPX. I had to trust myself, and it just taught me a lot of confidence. So I've never been on the spine. I haven't a clue. I can't even pronounce some of the places. Again, like Joe said, I've heard so many people going on, and your head would be wrecked. I just want to go out now, enjoy it, and have fun. It's a chance of a lifetime, and yeah, it is what it is. It's a path. It's not like if I can survive Cape Wrath, I can survive the spine. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, but that's what we signed up for.
Exactly. It'll be
You
lots
know.
of fun, and we will enjoy following you guys. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay, thank you very much for your time, Irene and Tomas and Joe. Stick with me there for a second, Joe, because we're going to pick your brains. But Irene and Tomas, give it loads, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny. Thank
Bye bye. Right, we have Hamish, who's coming from up the country. How are you doing?
Good, thanks, Johnny. How are you? Hey, Joe.
Good, good.
Hi, how are
Tell
you?
me, you did the Kerry Way in what year was it?
21 to, yeah. last year.
21.
Well, no, 2
How
years
did
ago.
that go? How
Really
did you enjoy
well.
it? Yeah.
Brilliant. It was great fun. Loved it. It was second 100 mile I've done, but yeah, scenery amazing, people, the support, just fantastic. The only bad bit was hearing from you. I think when I got lost, I think you rang me up at about 4 a.m. somewhere when I'd taken a wrong turn.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm slightly worried about spine navigation, given my navigation skills on a marked course like Kerry.
Yeah. Just give me your telephone number and I'll ring you up if you go off. Yeah.
I'll send it on to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, you signed up for the Challenger, and obviously we have Mr. Challenger, Mr. Irish Challenger here. What inspired you? Firstly, obviously, the spine. It's a different kettle of fish to everything else you've done, from what I understand. Why the Challenger? Why the spine?
Partly because I think reading a blog or Joe's report I read some time ago describing how miserable it was and how he was never going back, and I think that really inspired me. I'm hoping to do the full one next year, unless he puts me off. And yeah, I wanted to do the summer one, but I actually got a place for Lake Tahoe 200 this summer, so
Wow.
I've got to do the spine winter instead, which according to Joe is a great day out.
Yeah. So you were following Joe last year, obviously, and Joe has been there and done that. I suppose you've been on the forums and you've been kind of checking out, and have you everything down to a T at this stage, or do you want to pick Joe's brains and how you're going to make a podium finish this year too?
Well, it's good to hear that the others are as sort of baffled and scared by the forums as me, because yeah, it is pretty tricky. It's so many different opinions on kit, so many different opinions on what to do, etc. That it's as Irene said, you could wreck your head staring at those. I'm not sure I'm entirely ready, but I think navigation's scaring me, and just the cold. I think I've been, despite being over in County Louth, but I haven't had anything too cold over here. So yeah, worried about that.
Yeah. Have you not been over onto the route, or have you not done any specific cold weather training? No.
I went out and did the Tarn Way in the Coolies up about 3 weeks ago when it was like -7.
Right.
But yeah, no, I've never been to the route, never been to the Pennine Way at all, never stepped foot on it. So that's scaring me a bit as well, I think.
Not at all. Sure, there's plenty of runners. You just sit in behind a few people and buddy up. Joe, do you want to give us your top 16 tips on how to really how to really make a success of this race?
What is the one that I heard recently that I said, oh God, yeah, that's a good tip. It was Stoodley Pike. It's a big thing, sticky up. Just before checkpoint 1, and you can practically see checkpoint 1. You can see down into the valley in this little town, and you go up out of it. You go, oh look, there it is. It's 9k away. Be about an hour. It's just downhill. No, it's 2 hours, and it's horrible. Just yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, when you get up there, when you can see that, and you can see it from miles away, just have plenty to eat. Don't be thinking that you'll be in the checkpoint in an hour. You won't. And I think that's what happened to me. I said, oh, sure, I'm nearly there. I won't bother eating. And yeah, I paid for that. And I was pulling out until I had a cup of tea. So
why is it so slow? Is it bad terrain?
It's not. It's a nice rundown. And I can't really describe what is so bad. I think it's like you have to go off route to go down into the checkpoint, and that wrecks your head because you're like, geez, I have 100 miles to do, and they're putting on 3 or 4 miles here just for the crack, and it's road, and then that goes off road. Navigation is tricky there. and it goes off road and down into forest. There's just like a path about 8 inches wide, and no, it's stupid where to have it, and it just wrecks your head. So, and it's way slower than you would think it is. Like you'd imagine it'd be an hour and 10 minutes, but it's not. So basically, when you see Stoodley Pike, big pillars sticking out in the middle of a mountain, to start eating.
I remember that. Thanks.
It's soon after your one with she's on some road. She's got a food van.
Oh, the Nicky's, the M62.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I have
Yeah.
a bite there as well. I have an old banana and a can of Coke. I didn't
I've
bother.
I've ordered a burger for there already. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be perfect. So, because I didn't, I just changed batteries there and headed on. So that's my problem. But so yeah, stop, have a bite to eat with her, and a bit more when you see Stoodley Pike and you cross the M60, whatever. And after that, then just going into the night, have fun.
You should be a salesperson for it, Joe, or a marketeer for the spine.
Yeah. Well, there's no point telling someone it's going to be easy. It's not Kerry Way. The terrain is worse. And yeah, especially if it's flooded. So you just have to put up with it and then put your head down and do it. And before you know, it'll be over.
Tell us, Joe, are your feet, are they consistently wet like for...
Yeah. Let's see. Last year, definitely, yes, 100%, and up to I suppose I was up thigh height in some streams as well and rivers, so everything is wet. But yeah, definitely wet 100% of the time. Yeah, so just be prepared for that. And you know, the forums about the waterproof socks, they're not waterproof. I think if you've seen any forums, that's the one thing you'll take out of it. They're not waterproof. And they're certainly not waterproof when you have to be up to your nether regions inside in the river.
Yeah. So there's no point in even trying.
Tell us. It keeps out a bit of silt and stuff, but look, everyone to their own. Some people swear by them, but they're not waterproof.
I've been testing them, and yeah, they've been okay so far, but I haven't been through the spine testing of them.
Yeah. You've been up and loud testing them. So nothing against loud or anything, but come back to us, report back to us after the spine to see are they waterproof.
We'll see. Yeah.
What backpacks are you using, guys?
Whatever it is, OMM 32.
The Phantom, or you've a 32?
No, whatever Eoin Keith has.
Yeah. And yourself, Hamish?
I've got the Ultimate Direction 30 or 35, I think.
Right. Okay. Very good.
Probably got too much kit.
Right.
No such thing.
Yeah. No such thing in this. That was a question from Lorraine Horan, who is an experienced adventure racer. So, Hamish, are you okay with that? Like, are you at ease with the race and going into the Challenger now? Because they were very specific advice by Joe, which was fairly nice of him. Order a burger. That was basically his advice to get through the Challenger.
Yeah, it's good to see the guys, the pros and the experts are as scared as I am, I think, of some of this. So and find some of it is bewildering. So that's a little bit reassuring. I'll see if I can be a bit more positive afterwards in a race report, maybe, but not sure. Yeah,
no, we're looking forward to seeing you achieve greatness and finish the race. Both of you, all four of you. So anyhow, thank you very much, guys. You'll be hitting the road in a few days. You'll be heading over to the UK next week. So good luck, and please make those dots go a little faster, because it is quite frustrating when we're watching those dots and saying, why the hell isn't he moving? So yeah, we trust he will. Okay. So thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Johnny. Cheers, Joe.
Good luck, both of you.
See you there.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it. We'll touch base maybe with everybody after the race to see how they got on. And stay tuned to the spine, obviously, because it will be exciting, especially with Eoin Keith. Tried to get him on tonight, but he's busy. He's going back again for, I don't know, is it maybe the 4th or 5th win, or 4th or 5th or 6th participation. So it will be pretty damn exciting having so many Kerry Way Ultra runners. Anyhow, take care. Bye-bye.